Have you ever felt like you're just shouting into the void when you're trying to solve a problem at your child's school? You send the emails, you make the calls, and you get crickets? Well, you are definitely not alone. And today we're going to break down a system that is literally designed to make them listen. I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? You have a totally valid concern, maybe even a serious safety issue for your kid, but getting a straight answer, let alone a real solution, it feels impossible. So why is it that a system that's supposed to be there for children seems so allergic to hearing from the parents who are fighting for them? Okay, this right here, this is the key to the whole thing. The source material from the Student Advocacy Network Institute just lays it out, plain and simple. This one idea, that the system is built to move based on pressure, not on emotional pleas, this changes the entire game. It's a fundamental shift in how you have to approach the problem. So if it's all about pressure, then the trick is learning how to apply it the right way. And this is really the heart of what we're talking about today. The huge difference between making random emotional requests and applying strategic, systematic pressure. Because one of those gets you ignored, and the other one forces them to respond. It's so frustrating, but our natural instincts can really work against us here. That frantic email you fire off to the superintendent, the emotional phone call to the principal, even just venting on social media. The system is actually designed to dismiss all of that as noise. It lets them slap a label on you as that parent and completely sidestep the real issue you're trying to raise. To really see what this looks like in the real world, let's walk through a case study from the source material. We've got two parents. Both have completely legitimate complaints about bullying, but they take two totally different approaches. Okay, so look over on the left. You've got parent A who's acting purely on emotion. They're jumping the chain of command, they're going public way too early, and they even hire a lawyer without a solid paper trail. To the district, that just looks like chaos. But now, look at parent B on the right. They're strategic. Every single action is documented, it's based on policy, and it's methodical. Parent A looks reactive. Parent B looks like they're building an airtight legal case. So let's zoom in on parent B's path, because this is where the magic happens. On day one, they send a formal, written email that cites specific codes. They wait. By day 6, after documenting that the principal failed to respond, they calmly escalate. See how each step is a direct result of the previous level's failure. And by day 18, the problem is solved. Not because they were the loudest, but because the documented pressure became absolutely undeniable. And that, right there, is the big takeaway. The school system didn't actually respond to the child's need, it responded to the parent's process. The complaint was equally valid for both families, but the strategy, having a system, that was the only thing that actually mattered in the end. So what is this magical system? The source material calls it the Enforcement Framework. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like a ladder. A ladder you climb deliberately, one rung at a time. So what it is, officially, is a 7-level strategic escalation system. And the whole idea is that with each step you take up that ladder, you are intentionally increasing the cost for the district to ignore you. And we're not just talking money. We're talking time, negative attention, and legal risk. You essentially make it easier and cheaper for them to just solve your problem than to keep fighting. And here it is, the whole ladder. It starts simple, right there at the school, with documentation. From there, you climb through the district's own internal hierarchy, the compliance office, the superintendent, and only then do you go public to the school board. After that, you escalate to outside agencies at the state and federal level, with legal action as the absolute final step. It's a complete roadmap from beginning to end. I love this quote from the source material because it just sums it all up so perfectly. You don't just pick level 6 out of a hat and file a federal complaint hoping for the best. That's playing the lottery. Strategy means you start at rung 1 and you climb methodically. Okay, so that's the theory, but how do you actually start climbing? Let's break down the practical, real-world actions for those first few rungs of the ladder, because they are the most critical. Level 1 is all about one thing: creating an official, undeniable paper trail. The goal here isn't just to get the problem solved immediately, though that would be nice. The real objective is to give the school a formal, documented chance to do the right thing. This letter you write, it's the foundation for everything that comes next. And this is exactly how you do it. You have to switch your brain from using emotional language to using policy-driven language. Think about it. A subject line like, "urgent problem with my son," is easy to ignore.
but a subject line like this one, Ed Code 48900.4 violation investigation required, well, that gets a district administrator's immediate attention. It signals that you know the rules and you expect them to be followed.
A really powerful Level 1 complaint has 4 key ingredients. First, a factual summary of what happened, with witnesses and any evidence. Second, the specific school policies or education codes that were broken. Third, a clear list of actions you need them to take, with deadlines. And finally, this is the crucial part, an escalation notice that tells them exactly what you will do next if they fail to comply.
And here's the rule you can't break. You only climb to the next rung after the current one breaks. You have to document their failure, whether that's getting no response, a dismissive email, or an action that just doesn't fix the problem. That failure is your documented, justifiable reason to move up to Level 2. It's your ticket to the next level.
So let's just pull back for a second and look at the big picture. Why is the strategic ladder so much more effective than the random, frantic things that most people do when they're desperate? Well, it really just boils down to a very powerful principle. With every step, you are systematically making it more difficult, more expensive, and more painful for the district to keep resisting than to just give in and comply. You're methodically changing their internal cost-benefit analysis until solving your problem becomes the cheapest option for them. And the data shows that this really works. Look at this. At Level 1, only about 15% of cases get resolved. But look what happens as you climb. By the time you've methodically escalated to Level 3, the superintendent, that compliance rate jumps to 45%. And at Level 6, with a federal complaint backing you up, it shoots up to 87%. Sustained strategic pressure gets results. Period. And this is where your real power comes from. It's not about yelling louder. It's about building an irrefutable, step-by-step record of their failure to act. That documented record, that becomes your leverage. It's the file you hand over that makes state agencies, federal investigators, and yes, even attorneys take your case seriously. Ultimately, it all comes down to this incredibly powerful idea. You take the very real frustration, the fear, the trauma of what's happening, and you channel it. You convert all that raw emotion into the cold, hard, and undeniable language of policy and legal code. This is how you transform yourself from a desperate parent into an incredibly powerful advocate. Look, the system might be built to ignore pleas, but it is absolutely not built to withstand strategic, relentless, and documented pressure. So the only question left is, are you ready to stop pleading and start climbing?